5 is watching your wallet and keeping your personal info from scammers. There's a new travel warning that has to do with those tags that airlines put on your luggage. Fox 5's Arthur Sheehan is at LaGuardia with what you need to know, including when to rip those tags off and when to throw them away.
If you go around the air.
Welcome to Pegasus versus the World, where we take on challenges, comedy, trending topics, and some travel. City boy! City boy! So I wanted to just discuss this on the channel. I don't expect this to get like a ton of views or anything. I don't really care. I just think this is, if you travel, this is really an important story because I didn't even know this. Scammers are able to basically take the tag off your luggage. So when you have a tag, you need to take it off and like shred it or throw it away, basically, because they can scan it and get this information. We'll watch it because I don't know the weeds of it but it's like they can go file like some type of appeal at the airport and just crazy stuff. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, you know, we know technology has come a long way and things are wild. But the fact that people are just in their basement right now trying to hack up the new scam, like I've seen these things where people have like these, it's almost like John Connor in a Terminator 2. Remember, he goes up to the credit card machine with this thing, puts in a fake credit card, puts a number and gets money out of the thing. Bruh, people are have these things that like can open specific cars, like read the, it's just crazy. But when you're in the land of the have-nots and the have-yachts, and the middle class keeps getting shrunk and taken out, and the have-nots get further from the have-yachts, these things tend to happen. Anyways, I think this is a good story to talk about, especially for if you travel. And I travel a pretty good amount, especially my kids and my wife, because they're always going to see her side of the family. So anyways, let's get into this. If you rock with me, I'm Black Pegasus, link in the description to my other channels. And let's check this out. The other thing is like, yo, I'm looking at Shorty. I think she's black, but I can't tell. Like, I can't tell. She looked like a light-skinned Shorty, like, and not trying to put no colorism or race, but I'm just like, the other thing is like, what happened to the news? Like, and maybe, is it just Fox or is everyone a model? I'm not just talking about the females, the dudes. I'm like, where are the dudes with bald spots and glasses? Like, everyone looks like someone these days. Everyone looks like a model. I'm like, bro, it's a psyop. This is crazy. I'm like, this is crazy. Literally the woman in red giving me my news. That's wild. Anyways, all right. Scammers are going after disposed luggage tags.
Fox 5 is watching your wallet and keeping your personal info from scammers. There's a new travel warning that has to do with those tags that airlines put on your luggage. Fox 5's Arthur Sheehan is at LaGuardia with what you need to know, including when to rip those tags off and when to throw them away.
If you go around the airport, you can find baggage tags just about everywhere. We're talking about these tags looped around the handles of our luggage, which travelers often tear off and just discard. But these tags have a lot of information embedded, and scammers are going after them.
They just take this off your luggage. They have your name. It's got a barcode, which is what I'm actually really worried about. But the name is all they need, the flight information, to make a false claim.
Travel expert Clint Henderson is referring to Delta Airlines because of a recent Reddit post from a user who says he or she is a baggage claims manager at Delta, and that they're seeing an influx of false claims. The user says the scam leaves a traveler unaware, so that if they end up having to file a claim for a legitimate loss, they may run into problems. Thousands have replied to that post. Travelers respond with shock, ready to start guarding their baggage tags.
That's terrible.
I'm shocked, but also not, because technology allows us to access all kinds of information these days.
Do you have a practice regarding either this or boarding passes?
Usually for that, I'll cut up, but I didn't know about this, so I guess I'll start that now.
Travel experts say we should be treating these tags on our luggage as if they are our bank statements, and not to throw them out at the airport or even at the hotel. They say bring it home and shred it. And they say it's not just these tags that they are worried about, but also boarding passes.
What I'm really
So this is interesting because I don't know how much this affects you as a customer or affects their bottom line. Because essentially people are filing false claims and potentially maybe getting paid out on those claims. And that's coming out of the bottom line of the airport. And that's why they're telling you to treat it like this, because I don't know if necessarily it's affecting the people like that, but you still don't want people having all your information because that's a slippery slope. super slippery slope. My wife got hit. Someone used her identity, used her maiden name, and ran up a bag, I think like $15,000 on something, and she had to dispute it. And all these companies started going after her like, no, you have to pay for it. Then she proved that it was not her. She did not do it. And you were still having issues. You still have issues. And her father at some point got targeted. And they hit him before, because this is before like Credit Karma and all these other things to check your stuff regularly. So he had to learn the hard way. I think this was in the early 2000s. He got hit with some type of scam, like credit card fraud or whatever, $100,000. He actually had to go to court. He proved it wasn't him, but I forget because of the amount. I forget the premise, but he still had to basically file bankruptcy to not have to pay it off. Had to file bankruptcy, go through the 7 years, rebuild his credit, do all that shit because someone went and stole his identity and spent like $100,000 or maybe even more. So these things happen. I've seen it happen with other people too. Those are just like lived experience that I saw in real time. Anyways, I don't know if this affects the people or as much as the claims. And I'm going to confess to something. It's a loophole that I used to do when I was young, and it was a scam. So, you know, as much as I'm, you know, I pot calling the kettle black, I get it. Like, I'm ashamed of scamming, and, you know, like I stole stuff when I was young from department stores and stuff like that. It was not acceptable behavior. I take full accountability, and hopefully, you know, I raise my children where they don't go down some of the same pathways I went down. But Nike shoes. In the late 90s and early 2000s, if you bought any pair of Nike shoes with an air bubble, they had this policy that our shoes are the best, that would never happen. So let me tell you the scam. You get this dope pair of Nikes that you couldn't, you know, that I typically couldn't afford, but literally they become, this is what I would do. I'm just going to explain it. You get a dope pair of Nikes with the air bubble. You rock them, you know, for a month. And then what you do is you just take a little needle and slide it through the edge so it doesn't look like you put a hole in it. You pop a hole in the air bubble. You file a claim, and then you ship the shoes back to Nike. Now, their protocol was to send you another version of what you had because they were faulty, right? They what's the word when something, you know, like when the manufacturing, like there's this was a, man, I can't think of the word right now, but y'all know what I'm talking about. When they have like a recall because of a faulty part or something like that. Essentially, you're claiming that this shoe was faulty and the air bubble, you know, and it, you know, blah, I couldn't run, I couldn't this, that, or the other. You file a claim, you send it. Now, this was the nuance. If you waited a month, they send you a different style of shoe with an air bubble because a lot of times they didn't have the same one in stock anymore or to replace it. So I'd always get a new pair of shoes, and you could do this for a good amount of time. And that's more of a loophole, but it is a scam, and I take accountability. You know, I didn't have the money to afford Nikes and stuff, but that doesn't matter. You still try to make, no, not try, you still make the right choices and decisions to build your character. And back then I was building a bad character, and it took a while for me to understand that even these little things like waiting or working to get these shoes instead of scamming the company, you know, is good, you know, is the way to go about things. You know, it's better just to work hard and build discipline, build certain habits, and build certain characteristics than just, you know, scam shit, get free shit, depend on people, blah, blah, blah. So it was a learning curve, but that was a scam that I used to do, and I would just wanted to be totally upfront with it. Like, people do scam. They've been scamming for a very long time. So this is unique. I haven't heard anything like this, and I thought it should be brought, you know, people should be aware of it at some capacity.
What I'm really worried about is someone taking the information that's on that barcode right there and being able to steal your personal information, frequent flyer number, your contact details, your address. You know, they'll get you any way they can. So treat these documents as if they're money.
So be sure to shred those boarding passes and those luggage tags far from the airport to make sure the only surprises after your flight are the good ones from your trip. At LaGuardia Airport, Arthur Chien, Fox 5 News.
Always something else to worry about.
That's crazy because that was at LaGuardia. So like New York always seems to be ahead of the crime stuff. New York and California specifically. It seems like people work on it out there and then they execute and then it kind of becomes a trend and follows through the nation. So I always think that's interesting. People don't get physical boarding passes as much as they did in the past. That's not as much of a thing because most of us get our boarding passes on our cell phones. However, some people do. And then sometimes there's moments where there's systems glitching out and you have to get a physical. So I didn't really know you need to be cautious with that, but I'm a weirdo. I just keep everything in my bag. I rarely just throw stuff out, like, oh, let me take this off and throw it out. But there have been times I'd never thought to pay attention to that. So now I'll pay attention to it more, right? So anyways, let me know, you guys. Maybe this helps someone. Maybe it doesn't. I just thought that was worth talking about because I didn't realize that you could go from 0 to 100 so quick when we're talking about just your luggage tag. That seems a little crazy to me. Anyways, let me know what I got, what I missed. I'll catch y'all on the next one.
City boy, city boy.